Welcome back. Have you ever wondered if everything you know about reality is a lie? In 1999, Lana and Lily Wachowski changed the course of sci-fi history forever with The Matrix. It wasn't just a movie. It was a cultural earthquake that redefined action, philosophy, and special effects. But even if you've seen this masterpiece 100 times, there are secrets hidden beneath the surface that you've likely never noticed. Did you know the iconic green code is actually a bunch of sushi recipes? Or that Keanu Reeves was training in a neck brace immediately after surgery? Today, we're going deep into the rabbit hole. From secret injuries to hidden allegories and the roles that almost went to Hollywood's biggest stars. Here are 10 shocking facts about The Matrix that most fans have never heard. Fact number 1. The sushi recipe code. Let's start with the most recognizable visual in cinema history. The falling green code. It's the DNA of the digital world, a symbol of complex machine logic. But its origin is anything but high-tech. Simon Whiteley, the production's digital designer, wanted something that looked organic, yet alien. He experimented with various fonts and complex mathematical equations, but nothing felt right. Eventually, he found inspiration in the most unlikely place, his wife's kitchen. Whiteley took a stack of Japanese cookbooks, scanned recipes for sushi, noodles, and various traditional dishes, and then flipped them as mirror images. He then combined them with various numbers and Latin characters to create the vertical rain we see today. So, every time you see Neo reading The Matrix, remember, you're actually looking at a very complicated set of instructions for a perfect California roll or a bowl of ramen. It's a literal recipe for reality. Fact number 2. The 600-page veto. The Wachowskis were relatively unknown directors before The Matrix. When they went to Warner Brothers to pitch their idea, the studio was completely confused. The script was too dense, too philosophical, and frankly, too expensive for two unproven filmmakers. What did they do? They didn't just walk away. They hired two legendary underground comic book artists, Jeff Darrow and Steve Skroce, to draw the entire movie shot by shot as storyboards. This wasn't a small sketchbook. It was a 600-page massive epic that showed exactly how every fight, every special effect, and every camera move would look. When the studio executives saw this comic book version of the movie, they finally understood the vision. Those storyboards were so precise that many shots in the final film are identical to the drawings. Without that massive 600-page labor of love, the studio doors would have likely remained closed forever. Fact number 3. Will Smith's biggest regret. It's impossible to imagine anyone else as Neo. But Keanu Reeves wasn't even in the top 5 choices for the role. This is one of Hollywood's greatest what-if stories. The role was famously offered to Will Smith. At the time, Smith was the biggest star on the planet. He turned it down because he didn't get the pitch for the bullet time effects. He went to make Wild Wild West instead, possibly the biggest career mistake in movie history. The role was also offered to Nicolas Cage, Brad Pitt, and Leonardo DiCaprio. They all said no. Finally, the Wachowskis met Keanu Reeves in a parking lot outside an office building. They talked about their vision for 10 minutes, and Keanu was instantly sold. There was no formal paperwork ready, so they shook hands on the deal right there in the parking lot. Keanu later said, "I knew immediately that this was something that had never been seen before. History was made on a handshake." Fact number 4. pain in the neck brace. Keanu Reeves' dedication to the role went to painful extremes. Just before training began, he had to undergo serious neck surgery for a 2-level disc fusion. One of the discs was pressing on his spinal cord, and he was actually losing sensation in his legs. Only 2 weeks after the surgery, he was already in kung fu training. He had to wear a neck brace for almost the entire 4-month training period. If you watch the movie closely, you'll notice that Neo doesn't do much kicking in the early fight scenes. His legs were still too weak from the surgery recovery. But Keanu didn't complain once. He trained 10 hours a day, neck brace and all, just to make sure he could perform his own stunts. Fact number 5. Carrie-Anne Moss's broken secret. It wasn't just Keanu. Carrie-Anne Moss, who played Trinity, went through her own world of hurt. During rehearsals for that famous opening scene, the one with the gravity-defying kick, she fell and severely broke her ankle. Here's the incredible part. She didn't tell anyone. She was terrified that if the studio found out she was injured, they would replace her with another actress. She filmed for weeks on a broken ankle, hiding her limp every time the camera was rolling. It wasn't until the final scenes were wrapped that she confessed the truth. That incredible run along the wall, that was done in absolute agony. Fact number 6. Switch and the trans allegory. The Matrix has always been layered with deep meaning. Years later, the Wachowskis confirmed that the movie is a profound allegory for the trans experience. At the heart of this was a character named Switch. The original vision for Switch was groundbreaking. In the real world, Switch was supposed to be a man. But inside the Matrix, where our digital self reflects our inner truth, the character would be a woman. Warner Brothers executives got cold feet and forced the directors to make the character female in both worlds. However, the name Switch and the character's unique style remain as a tribute to that original vision of fluid identity. Fact number 7. Plaster heads and custom shades. The style of The Matrix is legendary, and the sunglasses are at the very core of it. But in 1999, there was no technology to digitally map glasses to actors' faces with the precision they wanted. Designer Richard Walker had to take plaster casts of every lead actor's head. These physical plaster models were sent to a factory where the sunglasses were hand-built to fit the exact contours of Keanu's, Lawrence Fishburne's, and the others' faces. No off-the-shelf models were used. Every pair was a unique piece of sculpture, and only a few pairs were made per actor. If they had broken during filming, production would have ground to a halt. Fact number 8. Disrupting the fashion world. Costume designer Kim Barrett used materials that looked like high-end luxury, but were actually cheap synthetics to withstand the stunts and the rain. But the result was so iconic that it fundamentally changed the fashion world. The same year, The Matrix was released. John Galliano of Christian Dior created his entire fall 1999 collection directly inspired by the movie. The long trench coats, futuristic cuts, and dark aesthetic moved straight from the cinema screen to the runways of Paris. The Matrix is one of the few films that changed how people dressed in the real world, proving that the Matrix really was everywhere. Fact number 9. Hugo Weaving's final battle. Agent Smith, played by Hugo Weaving, almost didn't make it to the final fight. Just 2 days into training, he suffered a severe knee injury that required immediate surgery. He was on crutches for 6 weeks, right when the fight choreography was supposed to be peaking. Instead of replacing him, the Wachowskis reorganized the entire filming schedule. All of Agent Smith's fight scenes were moved to the very end of the production to give him time to heal. That's why the final showdown between Neo and Agent Smith feels so intense. It was filmed at the very end of a grueling shoot when both actors were at their absolute physical limits. Fact number 10, the Bruce Lee homage. Finally, a tiny detail that most people missed. Keanu Reeves trained for months with martial arts legends. The directors wanted to pay homage to classic kung fu cinema with subtle gestures. When Neo is preparing to fight Morpheus in the dojo, he rubs his nose with his thumb. This isn't a random itch. It is a precise and deliberate reference to Bruce Lee, who did that exact gesture in almost all of his fights. It was Neo's way of signaling to the audience and to the Matrix that he was finally ready to break the rules. He wasn't just learning to fight, he was learning to be a legend. There you have it. 10 facts that prove just how much blood, sweat, and sushi went into making The Matrix. Do you have a favorite fact about this movie? Or is there a detail you've noticed that we didn't mention? Drop a comment below and let us know. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want more deep dives into the secrets of Hollywood. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, before you wake up in the Matrix again.